Hello there, welcome back to Gatabud. This is my Tifa Legendary Bout video. If you watch my Cloud or Yuffie videos so far, this is going to look a little familiar. The accessory is the level 3 limit break accessory again. There weren't a ton of limit breaks though that I ended up using, so perhaps a different accessory might be worth considering, but I still like this here. The weapon, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's her final weapon. I have limit break damage plus 10, which again didn't get a lot of use. Utterly unbridled strength did. Weapon ability damage plus 5 did. And then ATB charge rate up was really what I wanted here. Then the materia is a little different. We don't have an elemental blocker this time. We have a warding, because we have to face the Jabberwock and he petrifies. So the ATB boost is back. Chakra has made its first appearance because my initial attempt, I kept running out of MP. So time materia got the axe for Chakra. First strike returns. HP up returns. Healing obviously returns. Speed up is still there, especially with no time. You definitely need speed up. ATB stagger came back. It was not in the previous sets. Skill master returned. And I still did use this, and the main reason is the first battle and the fourth battle. So this still was useful, but it wasn't as useful as it was for Cloud and Yuffie. And then we have Fire Offensive Elemental for the Jabberwock. Compared to the first rounds I've seen so far, this is by far the most difficult. You need to try to pressure these by using Plasma Discharge. And then by performing regular melee attacks, your Plasma Discharge will continue to fire off and you will continue to pressure these guys. And then you can take them all out with Star Shower or something like that, or even Mind Blast, but luckily this is the first round, so if you screw this up and lay an egg, you can just restart. These do shockingly high damage if you get hit, and the opening sequence can even one-shot you. I'm honestly kind of glad that this is round 1, because I'd feel pretty terrible if I made it to like round 4 and screwed it up and lost. All in all, not too bad though. We're on to round 2. Dark Claws can be really troublesome when you're in a group, but luckily you're playing solo and as a really fast character, and if you're smart and play the long game here, this fight's actually pretty easy. You just want to run in a circle and make sure that you dodge Reaper Claws, and then it will just pressure itself, and then you go in and go crazy until it's no longer pressured. The second you see it no longer pressured, you quickly run away, and you just keep running in a circle and take advantage of those opportunities, and you can win this battle without being touched whatsoever. I also really like here how Plasma Discharge will randomly just go off while you're running around, and if the Dark Claw is close, it'll hit it and it'll kind of stun it for a second, and you can get some distance back. Tifa's speed stat really shines, and adding in the speed materia makes it even better, so you're going to quickly regain ATB without doing anything and not taking any hits. And then you just sneak in more buffs while you have distance and keep watching out for its moves. Now you'll see halfway through I start to get a little greedy and tried to force the stagger when I got really close. That's kind of just a preference thing. If you want to be conservative, then just keep running. Sometimes I like to get a little fast and loose though, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is probably going to take you 2 staggers to take out though, and then we are on to round 3. Not too bad. Everything I just said about Dark Claw in the last round is multiplied exponentially for Kid G. He can be a huge problem for a full party of 3, but solo with Tifa, he's actually hilariously easy. His pressure mechanic is kind of like Dark Claw, but it's a little different because you have to hit him after he does the action instead of just running away. But it's still a very, very similar fight from the last one. Now, you're not going to see this in this fight, though, but if you screw it up and he starts getting an aura, and the aura turns purple, he's about to use this move on you called Whammo, which is going to knock you out. So this fight stays easy by dodging, and if you wanted to be fast and loose in the last battle and kind of push the envelope, that was cool, but on this one, you really shouldn't. His 2 moves that you can force pressure on are Sledgehammer and Goblin Beatdown. And if he starts to get any auras, he's going to use Sledgehammer repeatedly before you can go in. But if he doesn't have an aura, he's only going to use it once, and it's really easy. But once he uses that move, you just start mashing square and close in on him and just hit him a bunch. And the second that pressure ends, I'll try to get just a little bit extra, and then I'll start running away. As long as you avoid Whammo, though, this fight can take as long as you need it to take. It's not a big deal. You won't take a ton of damage, and it's not too bad. Now, if Whammo does happen, there is some good news. If you have Reprieve on your equip set, you will survive it one time, and then you can recover, and his aura will go away, and you'll kind of get a clean slate there. So all hope is not lost, but obviously you want to try to avoid that. Just be patient and smart, and you'll get out of this without burning a lot of MP, and I will see you in round 4. I hope you didn't get too used to running in a circle, because we're going to shake things up drastically and go back to being heavily offensive. You can actually run in a circle, though, if you have trouble with this guy, because he's going to eventually pressure himself, but it takes a long time, and you can do some significant damage while you wait for the pressure to happen. Nothing you really do, though, is going to speed up that process, I've found. It's just a matter of the golem just getting tired, and I've tested it on this one, and I've also tested it in a 3-person party, throwing lots of damage at it, and there's really not a huge difference. One thing to note here is that it's weak to wind, so you can get a quick bit of damage with Sonic Boom, and you can do it from a distance, and it will give you faith and bravery. Just whatever you do, make sure that you keep your HP high when you go in for attacks when he's not pressured, because you will take some damage, and it's not that big of a deal, but you know, if you go in with like 2,000 health left, then bad things can happen. Personally, I'm a really big fan of using Star Shower even when it's reckless, because I've found the act of Tifa just kind of zigzagging around in the air causes whatever the enemy's trying to do to miss a lot of the time, unless it's like a massive AoE. But you do a significant amount of damage by not waiting for pressure and stagger. By the time this thing's going to be staggered, it's going to have like 25% of its health left. And if you take too many hits, then you'll just end up getting a full limit break off, and that will also get the job done. So all in all, just be smart here, be patient, wait for your openings to go in and hit, and I will see you in round 5. Now it's time for the real test. Now, Jabberwock probably wouldn't have been the one that I handpicked to be the ideal matchup with Tifa, but obviously she can win this, and there's a couple of things that you want to do. You want to get fully buffed here, so you got to use Unbridled Strength, Unfettered Fury. I like to have Regen on myself, and then you want to also get Plasma Discharge up and probably a Sonic Boom if you can pull it off. But there's one caveat here. It's kind of smart because of Gorgon's Shield to try to keep one full ATB bar at all times, because once it uses that shield move, it's really, really difficult to build ATB by pressing square, and you're going to have to just do it passively with your speed. When I do go in for attacks, I've found the safest place to do so is on its side, on either side, and that will avoid a lot of issues. Now, I got into some deep trouble here trying to Star Shower in the middle of a Lithic Curse. You should not do that, obviously. So, you need to learn from my mistakes in this regard. I'm really lucky that that didn't end my run, and because it's a lot of hits, it won't get you bailed out with Reprieve if you wanted to rely on that. So, don't do it. So I put myself in a less than ideal situation by having almost no health to deal with Gorgon's Shield. So I had to use that one ATB charge to recover myself instead of use Fire 2 on it. I also felt like in this particular scenario that it was so close to being staggered that there was a better way to do it than use Fyra on it and burn like 20% of my remaining MP. So I wanted to conserve MP as much as possible, so I just get kind of silly here. And then I realize I'm being stupid, and I just end up using fire anyways. And on the stagger, I wanted to exit it with full ATB and still be fully buffed. So instead of pressing triangle, I just used True Strikes. And that worked pretty well for me, but that's certainly a preference thing, and to each their own. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with. The reason, though, that I wanted to be at full ATB is because I wanted to bring out Odin as quickly as possible to help break this fight open for me. I consider that kind of an ace in the hole, so I just run around and keep my distance till Odin comes. And then I'm also near full on limit, so I want to get a fully loaded limit break off as well. And I feel like now I'm in really good shape as long as I don't do anything dumb like that Star Shower gaff from earlier. Once I get that second stagger, though, I know I've got this in the bag. I've got Odin ready to go, I've got a limit ready to go, and this is about as a sure thing as it gets in these kind of battles. And then this is probably pretty obvious, but we never got petrified because of the warding materia. That's the main threat of the Jabberwock, and when he can't petrify, he's really not that hard, especially for a group. Congratulations, though, on being one step closer to Platinum. More battle videos are on the way, so make sure to be subscribed to Gatabud if you found this helpful. Congrats, you are one step closer to Platinum. After doing Cloud, Tifa was really easy, so that was great. I will see you again soon once I have a couple more wins and can do these voiceovers. Until next time, my friends.